Hey, I'm getting good at this measuring half hour. If you're curious as to why I'm drinking slowly this time, it's because I've only got one beer left. You know what? Fuck it. I know I down these, but I actually love the taste of this, so I actually like to drink it. Such a magnificent body on that stuff. It's just, I've never had a bourbon like this. I've had quite a few bourbons, but again, it's personal taste, it's personal preference, it's what you like. Okay, this is my personal preference here. Please understand that. I've never had something that is as full-bodied as this. It's beautiful. That's the only word I can use to describe this stuff. Absolutely beautiful. I really like that stuff. But anyway, I haven't forgotten, because obviously when I started recording this I was talking about the one I didn't upload, and the end of part 3, all those parts ago, did I remember what I was talking about? Okay, I'll give you the cliff notes, just so as you get the story. Okay? Right. So, I was talking about how annoyed I was with a couple of doors down. Now, I like neighbours who, if you have an issue, before it gets out of hand, before you start saying, oh, well, you know, in your brain you start going, oh, well, you know, they're all just a bunch of so-and-sos, they're doing this deliberately, the world revolves around me. Before it gets to that point, go round, knock on the door and say, excuse me, mate, this is what you're doing, but it's affecting me because of X, Y, Z. Now, if you do that, I'm not going to smack you in the mouth. You know, I'm not going to kick you in the nuts and knee you in the chin as you go down, or any of that kind of stuff. I'll be like, oh, I didn't realise. I'm really sorry. Let's see what I can do. I'm fine with that. You know, I like to be a good neighbour. Yeah. So that's what I prefer. People who put notes through the door. I'll put this into context, right, very quickly. When we first moved in, there was a bush at the end of the drive. And a couple of people who lived up there used to let their dog piss on that bush. It was one bush. There's not a wall or anything at the end of my drive. It was just one bush. One. Right in the corner. They used to just let it piss on it. Who does that? Who allows their dog to piss on somebody else's bush? Right? I thought, what the fuck? You know, and of course, local foxes. We live in the middle of the countryside. There's a couple of foxes, right? Foxes smell it, and they piss out. Fox piss stinks. Jesus, dear God, it stinks. And of course, you can imagine that. We don't have cat flaps, so at night, we leave one of the windows open for the cats to come in and out of. And you got that bush at the end of the, you know, it's not nice. It's not a nice smell. And so what I did was I took my car, because I've always had 3 cars. I took my car and I parked it right up against the bush blocking the pavement, so that people had to walk across the road to get round. Now, my plan at the time was, when people started complaining, the dog walker is going to be one of them, or the dog walkers are going to be one of them, because they're the ones who mainly walk up and down. The people next to me, the people who don't go out walking dogs, they don't tend to walk up and down. So then I've got them. I can confront them. Yeah? Because I don't mind being a little bit confrontational every so often. So I can have a chat. And I was at work, and Bert had come home. She parked on the drive. Now, nobody had ever said anything to me. Nobody had ever said boo to a goose to me. And the car had been there for a couple of weeks at this point in time. Now, I'd swapped it between the 2 cars I was using, but there'd been a car there for a couple of weeks. And Bert had come home. She'd gone in, and she'd opened the window, as she usually does, and a hail of abuse. F word, C word, S word, everything. A hail of abuse came at her about getting the car out that pavement? Who does that? You know, here I am. I'm the owner. My 2 cars are the ones that are being swapped. Bert's car, on and off the drive. Yeah? My 2 are the ones, and she's the ones that gets all the abuse. She's the one that gets all the abuse. Now that instantaneously pisses me off. Yeah? Because if you are that yellow that you will have a go at the woman when she's on her own, but you won't just come up and have a quick word with me, that pisses me off. And I'm sure you can agree. So this is putting into context. Yes, some, not all of them, most of the neighbours down here are brilliant people, but some of them. Right? Now, her 2 doors down. She keeps chickens. Yep, and she has a dog that woofs a lot. Now her son used to live there. I think he went away to college or university or whatever, but he used to live there at the time. And he does come round quite a bit. Even during lockdown, they don't give a crap. There's barbecues and parties and all kinds of stuff. Right? They don't care. They're that kind of a household. And okay, they go until 1 a.m, keeping Bert awake. Now, if you're curious, I swapped the cars. Once I, took the car off the drive, I got rid of the bush. The bush is no longer there. Dogs can't pee on it anymore. Big up yours to everybody who was doing it. So I swapped the cars around at night. Now the reason I do that is Bert usually goes to work around morning rush hour. And everybody who lives up in the family homes up the top, well, they're going to work, and swapping cars around at that time it's a bit dodgy. You reverse out at the wrong time, there's a crunch. So in 1-2 a.m. in the morning, swapping a car around, there's nobody about, it's safer. And I also don't like people adjusting my seats. Well, her a couple of doors down, they've had a loft conversion. And she sleeps in the bedroom at the front with her window open, a crack. Now the Terrican, a little bit loud. So I drive the I-30 off and park it up that way, and then I'd move the Terrican from down there because it's a bit loud. She sleeps with the window open, whatever. We got a note through the door complaining about it. Now I've got day running lights on the I-30, those bright LED bollocks that you can't turn off. And the people opposite, when they moved in, when I used to reverse onto the drive, of course the lights are illuminating and it would wake them up, and they came and had a word with me. And they said, look, can you turn your lights off? And I went, well, I do, but these are day running lights. What I'll do is I'll drive on and I'll pull the handbrake to stop. No lights that way. And fine, brilliant, because that's the kind of person I am. I'll do what I can. But again, my job changed, so I started using Terrican. Bert started using the I-30. So I swapped the cars around. And so I was trying to appease those opposite. And get the note from the woman who has chickens, a barking dog, and her son has parties till 1 a.m. in the morning. Right. Would you mind stop moving your car about? Because I sleep with the window open and you slamming the car doors and your engine wakes me up. I posted a note back through a letterbox going, well, shut your fucking window then. We haven't really spoken much. But there, that was the story. That's a continuation of that story. Okay? I'm actually enjoying doing this because I really have nothing to do. I'm so ahead of everything. I cleaned, last week, I cleaned the X-Type and I used this stuff. Now, I'm not going to do a product review on this stuff, so I don't care what I say. This is the Turtle Wax stuff. Christ, is it crap. Is it absolute wank? I'm sorry, it just is. Literally, all of the stuff, you know the kind of the mud and the grit and the stuff that sprays up from where your front wheel, up the bottom part of your car door and stuff. Not a damn thing. I followed the instructions to a T. I put more of this cleaning stuff in than you're supposed to, so it was, it was more concentrated. Didn't do a damn thing. Not a damn thing. All the bits of mud and road grit still on the side of the damn car. That's crap. But again, it was just something that was cheap, and I got it. I've never done the snow foam stuff. I've always done the old elbow grease, got involved with it. And I just sort of give the snow foam stuff a shout, and that was what I decided to use. A lot of people have told me, oh, turtle wax is just a load of old bollocks anyway. So I won't get that again. I'll probably use what's in there because I've paid for it. But I won't dilute it. I'll use it neat and see what happens. But yeah, I used that stuff. Hey, this stuff's pretty damn good. No, seriously, this Autogleam resin polish stuff, that's pretty damn good. Because I've cleaned the car. This was what I was getting at. I cleaned the car, and I did all the resin stuff, and I used the old tyre stuff. I even used the Maguire stuff on the wheels. I did the car, and 2 days later, pissing down my rain. I mean, I got that car this shiny. 2 days later, pissing down my rain. And that stuff, obviously the resin polish stuff, the car still, even now, after a week of driving to work in the rain and the crap and all that, and like, it's country roads as well, the car still looks clean. That stuff's brilliant. Turtle wax, not so much. But I have been told to use various other cleaning products. One of them was Demon Car Shine. I know nothing about it. The other one was the Autogleam car shampoo. And there was another one, I can't remember what it is. Something that Gary uses. And yes, Gary, yes, I did mention that a couple of weeks ago. Well, a couple of uploads ago. A couple of weeks now, I'm doing this daily, you silly bastard. Sorry, I'll finish this off. He got rid of his Subaru Impreza. Mm-hmm. Sold it. So that buggered the idea up I had, but never mind. He sold it. Now, again, I don't talk about people's personal lives without them present. But he's going through a divorce. That's common knowledge, everybody knows it. Going through a divorce. And he realised that his Impreza, because how can I do this without getting too personal? Right. I left school. Myself and Gary were in the same year at school. That's how we know each other. We've known each other since we were knee-high to a grasshopper. Anyway. We left school. I went off to higher education. You know, as I did. As you do, you know. Off to higher education. And about a year later, I met up with him. I had my own car at the time, just got my car, 17, you know. And I went to find him and I met up with him again. I hadn't spoken to him for a year since we'd left school. Now, to all of you youngsters out there who use Facebook, we didn't have that, right? And if you didn't remember somebody's phone number, yeah, you could store it in your phone, but if you didn't have it at the time, you know, whatever. So the only way I was able to reconnect with my friends like Sean and Gary and those people, I just went round their house. Ding dong! Is Gary in to play? Literally, you know. You youngsters these days, you will never have that. You know, the intrepid drive to your old friend's house to see whether they still live with mum and dad. You'll never have that. You'll just Facebook them. Or tweet them, or Instagram them, or whatever the hell it is you do, TikTok or whatever the fuck that stuff is. Yeah, and I went round there and met up with him, and then we ended up down Southend Cruises a couple of days later because we used to go cruising, and down Southend Seafront, before they put in all the speed humps and the speed cameras. So back in the proper days, you know, when you look online and you see the Cosworths and stuff burning out down south. That was my generation. That's what we were doing down there. And I met with, and we met up down there. I remember his car. My God, it was Mark III Fiesta. Not the square one, but the rounded kind of square one, if that makes sense. I'm sure it's a Mark III. And it was white. And he had like this Illusion body kit on it. You know, the big snowplow bumper at the front and the same at the back, and the fake twin exhaust. I think they were twin DTMs. He had the fin off the top of the it was a max power car. The fin coming off the top of the boot lid. It was a 1 litre. That was a 1.1 or something. It was a tiny pathetic thing. He had the big ass alloys on it, and he had a checkboard on the roof. You know, the black and white kind of. It was just a chessboard on the roof. It was not that. But him and his missus were together then. Yeah, right. This is going back to the early 2002, 2001, 2002. And they were together then. So it was always Gary and his missus, right? I'm not going to say her name. But Gary don't mind, you've seen him, so whatever. It's Gary and his missus. And they've always been together. It's always been Gary and her. And last year, he just had enough. And they're getting divorced. And that's a shock. That genuinely, that's a shock. But it goes to prove that there's only two people who know what's going on in a marriage. The husband and the wife. It's genuinely a shock, because they've been together longer. They've spent more years together than Gary had lived before he met her. Right? And again, I'm not going into details, it would be wrong, but Gary has realised that the Subaru Impreza represented how he avoided the... How can I word this? The depression he was in because of the marriage. And when he realised that, the first thing he did was sell the Subaru. And I don't blame him. But this is brilliant. If you've gone to Wearing Bearings and you've watched that Jaguar one, this better be a JDM. If you've watched that one, there's a part in it where Gary's like, is this in? And he's like, Touareg. Better not be. You know, it's got to be Japanese. It's got to be Japanese. If he's going to impress me, it's got to be Japanese. This was recorded before he went through divorce as well. Okay. And I turn up in the Jag. Well, guess what he replaced the Subaru Impreza with? No, it wasn't a Touareg. A Ford Cougar. I'm kidding you not. The guy who is, this better be JDM, if you're going to impress me, it's going to be he's got a Ford Cougar. I'm looking forward to the lifting of lockdown, because I'm going to rip him a new one. I'm going to go and see if we can go and review it. But I can't go into personal details. I'm not going to. But yeah, he actually likes it. He's like, yeah, this is actually a good car. Mm-hmm. So you've given away a Subaru Impreza. It's a 4-door family saloon. Okay, you've given away a Subaru Impreza with all the gubbins that you're, tighting about with. A show car. And you've got an average daily driver Ford Cougar. You're like, yeah, this is a good car. I'm like, Jesus. That's a big change. Okay, that's a huge change. I'm like, what have you done with Gary? Where has he gone? He's always been into his kind of, maxed out, really done up cars. But he does want to get a Supra. Although I am ripping a new one for that. I'm like, a Supra? Oh, really? Just get an R34 Skyline. I can't, because I used to rip him when he had the Subaru Impreza. I used to say, Subaru Impreza. That's what women get. Men get the Evo. 8. Or 9 or 10. And he's like, who says that? I went, nobody, just me. I'm just ripping you a new one. But yeah, it's I can't wait until lockdown is over because I'm going to be getting Gary in here. I'm going to be getting Simon in here because Simon wants to go back to doing those podcasts. I think I've already mentioned that. And there's somebody else, and I know he's watching me. Hello. And that's Matt. Now that is Bert's best friend's husband. He's ex-RAF, if you can ever be ex-RAF. He's left the RAF, but he's always going to be RAF. And he wants to get in here. He's actually messaged me and he said, so when am I getting into Garage Den? Because he wants to be part of the vehicle channel. Because again, he's into motorbikes. And he's into his cars and stuff like that. He had an old 70s MGB. He got rid of that though because another child came along. He's got a lot of children. Yeah, they've got 4 kids. But yeah, they're both brilliant, and I was hoping to do something with Bert and her friend Amy, because it would have been 2 girls, 1 car. Yeah, I think I've referenced this before. Although Amy really isn't interested in that kind of stuff, so it is what it is. I mean, Bert, on the other hand, I don't really like cars. And then you show her like a Porsche 944, or you show her Porsche 944. I like Porsche 944s. I don't tend to like Porsches, but I'll give them their due. You can do a ton of miles in a Porsche. I mean, I hate using the term supercar on most Porsches. Yes, or Porsches. Yeah, they do make some that are like hypercar, supercar things, but most of them are just high-end sports cars. I know I'm going to get abused for that one, but let's be honest, they are. I'm not a big fan of them, but you can do miles in them. I mean, they really do. They are built to last. I will give them their due. They are built to last. If you find a 944 with 200,000 miles on it, you haven't even done an engine rebuild yet. I mean, they're really reliable cars. Okay, they just are. So I will always give them their due on that. And one of my friends who I used to work with at the wholesaler, I've got to get back, he was featured on this channel in his 944. And we went round there. And Bert was like, oh, I don't like them. Oh, well, no, they look a bit ugly. And we went round there, and he was working on it, and I'm on the old fucking wheels going straight underneath it, looking at it, and Bert's looking at it. He's like, what's that? And so I said, yeah, that's where the water goes in for the heater matrix and stuff like that. What's that? And I still remember it. She had the opportunity. She's not into cars, but she had the opportunity to go in to speak to his wife and his mum. I think I've told this story anyway, but whatever. And she was like, no, I'll stay out here. And she's like, and I get up and I'm like, yeah, this is that, and he's doing this, and he's going to clean that. And she's like, when are we going to get one? Because Bert is actually into cars. Okay, I've got to bring her out of her shell to work on them, but she is into cars. If you give her a selection of cars to choose, you know, which one of these would you choose? She will always, without fail, choose the most expensive, but the best one. Straight up, seriously, I'm not kidding you. Yeah, she is into cars, but I've got to coax her out of her shell to get her working, and I might try and do that with this Wearing Bearings channel at a later stage once we've bought a house and we've got everything organised. I'll get some project car, whatever, and I'll get her working. Yeah, make that bitch work. But no, she's into cars, and she's actually really good at choosing them. Okay, we have disagreements on certain cars, as you do. Personal choice. But she's really good at choosing them. And she's really good at getting... If you give her say 4 or 5 cars, she will literally always pick the best one. Oh, well, not that one. And I'll just be looking at it like, well, that's £100,000, and it is by far the best of all of these cars. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's weird like that. And I was trying to get her and Amy to do something like the 2 girls, 1 car thing. And when I explained that it's a rip-off of 2 girls, 1 cup, Bert laughed. She was like, that's disgusting, but funny as hell. And myself and Matt, in the background, what I was planning on doing was Bert and Amy would be reviewing a car, okay, as wives, as women. Okay, it sounds a bit sexist, but there is logic to this before you start losing it with me. They'd be reviewing the vehicles, and then during their review, they'd be like, and now let's see what our husbands think. And it would cut to myself and Matt doing something stupid in the car on probably an old airfield or something, because he was RAF at the time. And just going, it's crap, you know, like in a Panda bouncing around the corner going, it's crap. Yeah. And we had these grandiose ideas of what it would end up being. And one of them, because Simon wants to buy a Lamborghini Aventador. And trust me, he does have the money to do it. He's just not going to do it at the moment because, again, I don't want to talk about personal lives, but it involves one of his children. But we were going to do the whole Bert and Amy would review the Lamborghini as women, as wives, as, you know, how practical it is and so on and so forth on their channel. And then it would cut to myself, you know, and let's see what our husbands think of this car. It would cut to me and Matt rolling about on the floor, fighting about who was going to drive it, you know, that kind of thing. It was really kind of comical. It would have worked really well, but Amy's just not interested in it at all, not even remotely interested in it. Well, from what I've been told, anyway. But it was a brilliant idea. It would have been absolutely fantastic. But I've got to get Matt in here and chat to him. That would be fun. And we'll probably end up doing a Down the Pub series. Because obviously Matt will come round, and Amy will come round, and Amy and Bert will be in the house. And myself and Matt can be out here having a bevy. You know? We'll probably do something like that after lockdown. Yeah, I've got to get Gary around here, got to get Simon. Simon already wants to, because he wants to discuss something he's doing about setting up a business. Not with me, but with you guys. Because Simon is an investor. Now, these things work on YouTube. But no, these things work, and it does work. Okay, seriously. I am doing trading. Okay? I've got Trading 212. Dink. Dink. Why are you not... There we go. Why are you not working? Right. Oh, no. No, that was wrong. Right, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. Right, I hate modern technology. Do you know? Right. Now, I've taken a screenshot. But I started trading. Now, you're seeing that screenshot. In total, since I've had this about 5 weeks ago, I have put in £500. I have taken that £500 back out. Right? That level, that account level of £900 of that over 900 quid, everything I have earned on Trading 212 in 5 weeks. Yeah. What Simon says to do is true. So I've put 500 quid in total. I've taken the 500 quid out. So every penny that is in here is what I have earned from trading. Just stocks and shares. I'm not even doing the CFD stuff, you know, the leverage stuff that Simon does. I'm just doing this. Okay? And at the moment, obviously, Donald Trump, good old Trump, he's turned around and he's been threatening sanctions on China and everything, and a lot of things have gone, and everybody's sold out of stuff because what could happen. So yes, it's gone down. It's a bit of it's a bit of an annoyance. Don't get me wrong, but again, I'm doing investing in stocks and shares. I'm not doing leveraged trading. There is a difference. So if I hold these, it will go back up. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. If you're curious, I have a fake account on this phone, right? Now you start with 50 grand. Now I've been going about 6 weeks with this one, and because it's a fake account, I haven't really been taking it too seriously. But, oh no, that's the Samsung. No. Right, but I'll take a screenshot of this. You start with 50 grand, and this was 6 weeks ago.